Greetings, this is Stephen Seaton doing another Facebook Live. Today I want to do what I feel is going to be the most important video blog that I ever can do. I know that's a big claim. I may change my mind later, but as of now, I want to do what I feel is the most important video that I could ever post on Facebook or share. The reason why is because my passion is birthed from what I learned and what I'm going to share with you in this video, and also all my work will lead back to this video. But what I want to share today is about the fatherless epidemic. This is something that is tied to every social ill that we have in America today when it comes to the amount of children in prison, those that are abusing drugs and alcohol, when it comes to school shootings, school dropouts, bullying. Just many different social ills are tied back to fatherlessness. And the reason I want to share this today is because last week I was speaking about creating an atmosphere where we can connect with our children. And if we want to impart wisdom in our children's life, if we want our voices and our opinions to matter, if we want to pass our character on to our children, then we need to stay connected with our children. So that's why I spoke about creating an atmosphere of connection with our children. So I wanted to take the next few weeks on what are the different elements that are important inside that atmosphere of connection, because I had some say, I want to connect. What do you do during that time? So the first one is consistency. Without that consistency, you can't have that connection. And so that's why I want to speak about the fatherless epidemic within the context of being consistent. I went to listen to Laura Bush speak about, and I shared a little bit about this last week, that she said the greatest social, she said the greatest threat to our nation is not Islamic terrorists. She said it's fatherlessness. And that hit me hard when I heard that. And I was sort of thinking, what are the implications? What exactly does that include, entail, involve? And so I just started a life pursuit of studying that and what does that mean and what can we do about that. And so she explained that the economic crisis that we have and the educational crisis both go back to fatherlessness. And if you Google that and research that, there's just so much information that can reveal to you how a lot of the problems that we face in America today is tied with fatherlessness. So there's three things that I want to share today. I do believe that moms can benefit from this. This is to you as well, but I specifically want to speak to the father, since that is hitting on the biggest epidemic that we have today as Americans. But there's three things I want to share with dads. How can we make sure that we're being consistent? How can we make sure that we're there for our children? The first one is to be physically present. That seems easy, but it's not. I want to talk about being present for our children. The second one is keeping our promises. If we say we're going to do something, we need to keep that promise to our children. And then the third one I want to share is being emotionally available to our children. So what do I mean when I say be there physically for our children? Basically, if we step out of the picture, dads, if we step out of the picture, then we're forcing the moms to choose which role she wants to be. Because typically the mom wants to be the nurturer. By nature, she wants to love the children. She wants to nurture the children. But when the dads step out of the picture, then the mom has to choose, do I want to be the nurturer or the disciplinarian? Because it's impossible to be both. You can do one well. So let's say the mom decides, I want to be the nurturer, just lavish love on those children. With the absence of discipline, then the boundaries are removed and the children feel out of control. They feel unloved when there's not a hand of discipline. And then all of a sudden there's behavior issues. If a mom decides, okay, no, I'm putting the hammer down, we need some discipline and structure in this house, then all of a sudden the nurturer, then she can't play the role of nurturer when she's disciplining. And then all of a sudden the children feel unloved. So I'm a single dad. I want to nurture and I want to discipline as well, but you just can't do both at the same time. And that's the role. And that's what we'll suffer with is the absence of that role in that house. So we can only be the nurturer or the disciplinarian one at a time. So I just want to encourage you to not put both those roles on the mom, that we need to be one of those roles. We need to be the disciplinarian, the one that just urges them on, encourages them, helps them to find their identity and purpose. And the moms do that, but without the dad, we're forcing one to do both. Now, when it comes to if we're separated or divorced, there's two things I want to share with you about being present if you're divorced. And here's how I want to phrase it. You have to deal with the crap and you have to shovel crap. And what do I mean by that? Sometimes it may be tumultuous, the relationship. You don't want to be around the children's mom. Sometimes they're saying, man, there's a lot of drama. I just can't be around her. But the thing is, even if it's from tumultuous all the way to if it's toxic, there's ways to deal with toxic people. There's ways to deal around drama and the fact that you don't get along with the children's mom. You can speak to a pastor, an elder at a church about that. You can seek counseling or a life coach on that. But the things we really do need to spend time and be there with our children, and we can't just run away from our children if we don't get along with their mother. I've met several people who say, I'm not going to deal with her anymore, I'm done, but they neglect their children as well. And so I just want to encourage you to find a way to deal with the drama or even the toxic relationship. So even if you have to deal with crap, please do not neglect your children, spend time with them. The second one, I talk about shovel crap, what I mean by that is this. I don't see any job, any woman or anything that is worth me leaving town and not raising my children. If I have to get a minimum wage job shoveling crap, I will do that to be present in my children's life, because it's later in life when we realize money isn't all that we thought it was going to be. This job position isn't all that I thought it was going to be. Man, I want to be involved with the life of my children. And usually it's too late down the road when our children are older, and then all of a sudden, then we want to be present in their life, because they may choose, I don't want you to be present in my life. So that's why I say we need to deal with crap and shovel crap. Luckily, I get along with my children's mom. We get along great. We don't have those issues. But for those that do, I just encourage you to it also will help you to model to your children on how to deal with conflict and somebody who you don't get along with. So that can't be an excuse to not raise your children, is that you don't get along with the mom. And a story is kind of sad to share this, but I think it's so important. It's so telling and revealing to share this story. But I was at a disciplinary hearing, and this dad came up to me afterwards. His son had got kicked out of school for something. And the dad came up and was talking about his dating life. And in front of everybody, even his child, he said, I like to date girls. And I was shocked, saying, what did you just say? And other people in the room looked at him, and he said, no, I don't mean underage girls. When I say I like to date girls, what I mean is I like to date women who have daddy issues, who have not resolved the issues with their dad, or they're still angry at their dad. And he said this. He said, because you can do whatever you want with them. All you have to do is, before they break up or before they get fed up, you just have to get a little emotional and say, I'm sorry, I don't want to be this way, I want to change, you're helping me to change, and give her some flowers, and then she'll forgive you, and you can keep doing that over and over again. He said that out of his own mouth, is that I like young girls, and what I mean by young girls is those who still have dad issues. So I just want to encourage you, be present in your children's life. The second thing I want to share is, do not make promises that you can't keep. That hurts a child. I know that may pacify him for a minute, but it really will hurt the child if you make promises that you can't keep. You need to be all or none, not just a holiday dad. Don't just be a hit or miss, because you won't have that consistency. You won't be able to have that steady relationship to impart that wisdom that you want to impart, to be a part of their life. And I've seen personally, working with parents and with children, that when the dad is inconsistent, it actually causes so much turmoil in that child's life and the inconsistency causes instability in their life, turmoil in their life, and that whole family suffers when you are inconsistent. So if you don't think that you can be consistent, it's best just to stay out, but don't do a hit or miss with that child. They need you to be consistent in their life. So please do not make promises you can't keep. I can't tell you how many homes I provided counseling to and other pastors when a dad comes in and out of the picture. I've been to a lot of disciplinary hearings and issues at school that go back to, or could be linked back to, dad just stepped into the picture and he made promises and he's coming in and out and in and out. That just causes so much trouble. The third one is to be emotionally available in that child's life. And when I say emotionally available, you may think, well, what does that mean? How do I be emotionally available? And that is just create traditions and times, like weekly traditions and times that you meet with your children, that they know that you have no agenda and you're just there to talk and listen and share that time together. For me, I'm here on the square because I wanted to show you a place and time that I connected. When I moved to Lawrence County, one of the first places that I would go is here on the square, and it was Ledbetter's Pharmacy. And when we came to Ledbetter's Pharmacy, it was Wednesday right after school. I picked him up, and we came to this building right here. And when we go inside, it had like a cool little ice cream bar, and we would go to the ice cream bar and they would get ice cream. And it was just, and it was the little stools that would spin. So the children really enjoyed spinning on the chairs and eating ice cream. And there was no rush, there was no hurry, there was nowhere that we wanted to go. We just enjoyed each other's company, and the kids could rely on that time together. And then on Friday, we also had pizza and a movie and candy. That was when I'd call, say, hey, what candy do you want? And I would get whatever candy they want, and we would just watch a movie, eat pizza, and enjoy candy. And I ended up becoming the chaplain of the football team. And I thought this was a great ministry opportunity to minister to those boys whose dad has stepped out of the picture, whose mom has left. But I didn't realize how much that Friday evening tradition meant to my girls. So after the first Friday, they're like, Dad, don't miss another Friday. This is our pizza and a movie time. And I said, well, girls, you know, these guys on the football team need me. I'm starting to connect with them. Some of them are hurting because a parent stepped out of the picture. And they're like, but you're our dad. We want you to do pizza and a movie with us. So long story short, I end up having to tell the football team, hey, guys, love y'all. Wish I can stay, but my girls need me. And it's hard sometimes to put your family over work. But I thought, you know what? My family comes first. So I had to lay that down in order to be the chaplain of my own children, to be present. So that's something that we still even do today, you know, 15 years later, is every Friday a pizza, movie, and candy. So those are the three things that I just want to encourage dads to do, because we need to do something about this fatherless epidemic. And so after I post this, give me a few minutes, but I actually have a video clip and I have some links to some songs that I want to put in the comments to kind of elaborate on these three. But thank you so much for watching. And if you know any man that can benefit from this, any father that's expecting a child, any new father, any parents that are going through a divorce where it just seems like he may skip town, or somebody who is just fed up with the relationship with the children's mom, but they're also leaving the children as well, please share this with them. Hey, thank you so much for letting me share this time with you, and I hope you have a good evening.